good presentations tonight. Good to see you. I was sitting there thinking, I was thinking to myself that I heard something really interesting, right, like a couple of months back, and it got me thinking about this. Now, I'd like to claim this for myself, but I can't, but I'll tell you. So what this person said, they framed the battery metals industry, the lithium industry, in terms of Kalgoorlie and the gold rush of the 1880s and 1890s, okay? And what they said was this industry today, it's 1890. What does that mean? It means we're 10 years in. You know, and I think when we look at some of the presentations we've seen here today and we look at some of the opportunities in front of us, there's a lot to be aspirational towards, particularly as a junior explorer like we are. But it tells me that there's a lot of, how do we do this? There we go. It tells me that when we look at the macro, okay, when we look at the underinvestment in this space that we've seen over recent years, and we're looking at this demand, you know, this projected demand, and there was chat earlier on about the supply side, you know, just meeting that, you know, for the moment. But I think long term, when we look at that, okay, you know, we see that this opportunity presents itself. It's policy driven. We understand that. You know, governments around the world, you know, mandated change. They've got green energy targets, 2030, 2040, 2050. In Australia's case, 2070. Which demonstrates to me that this whole thematic there's longevity to it. There's depth to it. There's support to it. Government support, not just our government, every government supporting this, okay? And there's opportunity there. So I think that's why we're all sitting here today, and, you know, obviously we're still learning a lot about this sector and the lithium space and the battery space as a whole. But, you know, that to me shows us that we're sort of like pioneers, right? You know, like in 100 years' time, maybe there's like some faded photo of all of us sitting around, right? But in the same, the digital photos fade, by the way? I don't know, but in the same way that those guys in Kalgoorlie didn't realise what it meant in 1880 or 1890, in the same way that those people at the Industrial Revolution didn't realise that their work would be having an effect 200 years later. So that got me thinking, and I really sort of like that, because I think anything we talk about, you know, investment opportunity wise, the work we're doing, it's great, right? You're doing drilling, you're doing this, you're doing that, fantastic. What's the relevance? What's the relevance to it? But principally, this thematic, I love the opportunity that we see. And talking of opportunity, why don't we talk about Lightning Minerals? A good segue. So we listed November last year. We raised $7 million. Our focus is our Dundas project, which is south of Kalgoorlie. Now, I'll just point you guys to our recently released corporate presentation, which was released last week. There's also a list of references in the back of this presentation for announcements which we've put out over the past 3 or 4 months or so. But the Dundas region, you know, it really is emerging as this lithium and critical mineral super province, right? I mean, look at the people that are playing down there. I mean, you know, we've got Liontown. We saw a great presentation from those guys earlier. Okay, Kathleen Valley, fantastic, right? Great project. Don't discount Baldania, 15 million tonnes at 1%, okay? Our package, our southern package, surrounds Liontown's Baldania asset. We'll talk about that in a sec. And our northern tenements are just to the east of the Bald Hill lithium tantalum mine, which we know, of course, is producing, right? About 26, 27 million tonnes there. I think the region as a whole, when we did our IPO in November, I remember doing the roadshow, like whenever it was, September, October, coming to Sydney, seeing a lot of you good people as well, and it was explaining Dundas, you know, it was explaining the region. Where was it, you know? What was it? Was Dundas an animal? That might have been a question, I don't know. But, you know, I think what we've seen in this region in recent sort of months, you know, with the ESS takeover, the IGO, Tanshi takeover, MinRes obviously getting involved there as well. Liontown, of course, they're doing their drilling out there. I would probably expect a significant resource, increase there when they finish. MinRes to the north, of course, and MinRes getting involved in that ESS deal tells you that this region is in demand. Juniors, you look at Lovato Resources to the south of us, had a very good couple of months as well. So I think when we're talking about the thematic and I'm talking about relevance, okay, strong asset base is key. Now we've got that, that's a good start, okay. Experienced team, I've heard a couple of the guys here say tonight, it's hard to find people in this space, in the lithium space. Of course it is, we're all still learning. It's hard to get experienced lithium geologists and professionals. Our exploration manager, Jared Woodland, he's got a lot of experience in the lithium space and also regionally in this area too. So I think that's a coup to have him on board. And of course, critical minerals. We've spoken about the thematic. I'd look at Australia. We produce 50% of the world's lithium. Okay, and then you look at Chile. The nationalisation of lithium assets there over the past month or so. It makes Australia appear to be the #1 jurisdiction to invest in this space. And for me, the Dundas region is one of the #1 postcodes to be exploring for lithium and critical minerals in this country. So to have assets down there, I think is a real coup for us. We did acquire those projects from FMG, the FMG, yes. They are a major shareholder of ours, so that's excellent. And it's very difficult, I guess, to get a foothold in Dundas. All this means nothing, right? You can talk about sentiment and thematic and all this sort of stuff, but you've got to have a growth strategy. You've got to have a plan. What are you going to do? Now, I guess any of you guys who know me from previous lives might know I'm quite aggressive in my approach to exploration and company development. We were on the ground day one after our IPO, okay? We completed a geophysics campaign across all our tenements, the southern tenements in the left-hand image here and the northern tenements in the right-hand image, identifying about 28 geophysics targets. We also completed a full soil sampling campaign across all tenements. Numerous lithium in soil anomalies identified, up to 35 kilometres square and up to 218 ppm Li. Okay. What's the relevance of that? So if you look at the background grades in the region, typically 50 to 60, in soil sampling is what you would see. So we've seen over 200, we've seen 150, well over 100. Multiple targets here. Again, great, fantastic, good amount of work to be completed efficiently, effectively, in a fairly short space of time. The question everybody wants to know is, of course, when are we going to start drilling? So our first drill campaign will be in the first week of June, a few weeks' time, and it will focus. So that's a tenement to the south on the left-hand image. That's the focus of our first drilling. Okay. So that is sandwiched directly between Liontown's Baldania project and Lovato's Merivale prospect, okay, to the south. So what we see there, we see lithologies and geologies continuing from Baldania down through our lease and down into Lovato's lease. So there we've identified outcropping pegmatites, and also in the southeast we've identified a lithium in soil anomaly, actually a lithium and rubidium in soil anomaly as well. So that's going to be the focus of our first drill campaign. Also on the left-hand image, the far eastern tenement there, 2000, 8 square kilometre lithium in soil anomaly, up to 218 parts per million. And on the right-hand image there, that's our northern tenements. That's a 35 square kilometre anomaly, lithium in soil anomaly, up to about 150 ppm. So these are significant targets, guys, and these are significant areas, right? As a junior company, a company that is, we've got 5.2 million bucks in the bank. Our market cap is sub 10 million. I look at where we are located in this region, Dundas, great neighbours, lots happening. Obviously, the thematic is strong. We're drilling, in a matter of weeks. This is a catalyst for us as a business. You've heard me say that word before. it is potentially transformational. So please put us on your watch list. Alex Beeks, Chief Executive Officer, L1M Minerals. Thank you.
Your major shareholder, Forest Energy, are they escrowed for a certain period?
Yes, they are for 12 months. Yeah, correct.
12 months.
Yep.
And what do they hold?
3.4%.
Big